Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field. We're off to Newmarket this weekend. 3 races from the 2000 Guineas meeting, or the 2000 Guineas Day it is coming under focus on the Saturday, including the first classic of the season, the Betfred 2000 Guineas. The Guineas will be the final race we cover, but first we dip into Handicap Company, the Suffolk Stakes, off at 2:20 on Saturday. Ben, good morning to you, mate. Welcome back, and can you start us off with the Suffolk Stakes? It's full steam ahead now, mate, on the flat.
Yeah, morning, Tony. Yep, full steam ahead on the flat. Forget about Punchestown, nobody cares. On to Newmarket, yep, first classic of the weekend, the year. But we'll start with the Suffolk Stakes Handicap, a trio of our 4 race trends that help narrow the field with this. The last 12 winners all passing the following trends. All were aged 4, 5 or 6, had won one of their last 7 starts, rated between 103 and 86, and had between 2 and 24 previous handicap starts. There are 6 of the field this year meet those trends. 5th column, Marhaba Ghayath, The Lost King, Mr. Winston, Tycoon, and Al Arbid. 2 from that shortlist, The Lost King and Mr. Winston, are trained by Andrew Balding, and they're the 2 that mainly catch my eye in this. Andrew Balding holds some solid stats and handicaps on the Rolling Mile in the month of May, especially when the ground is good or quicker, and with horses aged 4, 5 or 6 that have had at least 2 previous handicap starts. Since 2009, Balding's stats of those types read 17 wins and 5 placed from 54 qualifiers, 31% win strike rate, 41% win and place strike rate, over 109 points profit. Both the Lost King and Mr. Winston meet that angle. That's another positive to their chances. And Mr. Winston won at the Newmarket meeting on the 14th of April, over a mile. So we know he handles the track well. And Andrew Baldwin does well with his last time out winners that return to the same track on their next start, especially when returning within 20 days and over the same distance or up in trip, and a start at 7 to 1 or less. With those types, Balding is 37 winners and 25 placed from 106 runners, 35% win strike rate, 58% win and place strike rate, over 27 points. Level stakes profit, which is another positive for Mr. Winston. Oisin Murphy, he takes the ride on Mr. Winston. PJ McDonald takes the ride on the Lost King. This will be the first time PJ McDonald has ridden the Lost King, but he's a good jockey to call upon under these circumstances because he rides the Rolling Mile track really well. If you look at PJ McDonald on the Rolling Mile, in Class 1 to Class 4 races on good or quicker, on horses that are wearing no high gear or no tongue tie, and that are starting at 16 to 1 or less, you see PJ McDonald has 14 wins and 9 placed from just 44 rides. It's 32% win strike rate, 52% win and place strike rate, and over 65 points profits. And all of that leads me to a situation where I'm going to play both of the Balding horses in this handicap. That's Mr. Winston at around 7 to 2, 4 to 1. And the Lost King at 6 to 1, 7 to 1 sort of price. So Mr. Winston and the Lost King for me in the Suffolk Stakes. Tony, what you got?
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats or the last 5 years at this Guineas meeting, whose horses are ready. Obviously, as you said there, Andrew Balding's horses are ready. In the last 5 years, 10 from 54, which is 19% strike rate. Charlie Appleby is 21 from 80, 26% strike rate. And just for listeners here, just to be aware, I mean, it could well be a trends buster, obviously a stat buster this year, but just bear in mind that since 2021, Aidan O'Brien is 1 from 16 with 2 places at this meeting, this 3-day meeting. So just be careful. But he does come storming into Chester. I think he just aims at Chester now, to be honest with you, Ben. And Where Charlie Appleby and Andrew Balding cleaned up at this Newmarket Guineas meeting, certainly it's Aidan O'Brien cleaning up at Chester. That's in the last 5 years. I do like the chances of the Lost King and Mr. Winston, and I'm with you on both of those, actually. The other one I will give a shout to is Bullet Point, a course winner with enough class to be dangerous in a race like this, but he ended last season quietly, very quietly, and now returns into a deep handicap here under top weight. Likely to go well without being ideally treated here, Bullet Point. I think he can go well, but I'm definitely with the Lost King. Just adding to what you say there, Ben, the progressive 4-year-old arrives after another good run and still looks the sort who can do better in handicaps. Wide draws not ideal, apparently. I'm not really up on the draws in the early part of the season, but he has a profile of a major contender. Won nicely last time out, Mr. Winston, and remains on the upgrade for a yard going well with this type. As you say, Andrew Balding, 10 from 54 in the last 5 years. He's drawn low, race fit, and partnered by Sheen O'Murphy, blimey. He looks one of the more persuasive runners. Moving on to the 255, the Palace House Stakes. The Group 3 over 5 furlongs. Ben, your thoughts on the Palace House?
Yeah, it looks a decent enough renewal with this Group 3 sprint. There's plenty of familiar faces lining up this year. Not an easy one to kind of piece together a shortlist for, I didn't think. I was going round the houses a few times, but I eventually settled on Beckford's Folly, Quino, First Instinct, and 5 Ways. Beckford's Folly comes out on top on the adjusted ratings due to his 3-year-old allowance. He should come on for his first run of the season last time out, where he finished 8th in the Abernant Stakes. He improved plenty for his first run of the season last year. If you look at Beckford's Folly off breaks of 42 days or less on turf, you see he's an unbeaten 3 from 3. All 3 of those wins coming at Newmarket. And I think he looks a shade overpriced here at around 12 to 1 or bigger. Beckford's Folly. Quino finished a close third in the Abernant Stakes over 6 furlongs last month. That run taking his form at the Newmarket tracks when running off breaks of 90 days or less, to 4 wins and 2/3 from 6 starts, and he clearly enjoys the test Newmarket provides him with. All 10 of Quino's turf wins in the UK have come at Group 2 level or less in May to September and off breaks of 28 days or less. Under those conditions, he is 10 wins from 13 starts. And he gets those conditions to shoot for here. He's a horse with 6 and 7 furlong stamina to burn, so if he can get rolling on the front end in this, he could well be hard to reel back in. I think he's a big player in this. Quino for the Stuart Williams Yard. First Instinct, he runs for William Haggis. She finished off last season running in the Group 1 Abbey at Longchamp. That was probably above her class ceiling, but she won a Group 3 on her run before that run in France, and she'll be better suited to this drop back in class. Tom Marquand rides here, and he gets on well with the filly. Over 5 and 6 furlongs with Marquand riding. First Instinct holds a form line of 3 wins and 1/3 from 4 starts, and she could go well here. First Instinct. And 5 Ways is the other on my shortlist. He's a lightly raced 3-year-old who was last seen finishing a decent 4th in the Group 1 Middle Park Stakes over 6 furlongs. All 4 of his starts have been over 6 furlongs to date, but he showed plenty of early speed on his last 2 starts, and he should cope with a step back in trip. At the 3-year-old allowance he gets puts him into the mix on ratings with the older horses. He does have a little bit to find with the other 3-year-old, Beckford's Folly, though. And Beckford's Folly is one of 2 I'm going to play in this, the other being Quino. Beckford's Folly, he's around 12 to 1, 14 to 1, which I think looks quite big. And Quino, he's around 7 to 1, 8 to 1 mark. So Beckford's Folly and Quinault for me. Tony, what you got for the Palace House Stakes?
Yeah, it's a good renewal here. Asphora and Frosted Dawn, if you're looking to Dutch in this, as far, of course, is the high-class Australian mare who sets the form standard and gets the Sheena Murphy. Done it again. Sheen Murphy in
Sheena Murphy.
Blimey, long morning, mate. Long morning. But she has to prove. What races are them again? But she has to prove she's ready to fire first time back in a sharp Newmarket 5 furlong major player as well, if she's back to her top form, obviously. And the other one I was looking at is Frosted Dawn. Smart mare, enough pace for this test, and she looks the one of the more interesting dangers if returning in the same heart as last year. But and the market suggests she is expected to go well, which is Frosted Dawn, around 7-1 for William Knight. I think she can give a good performance there. But I'm with you with Beckford's Folly, obviously with the Charlie Appleby angle as well. I'll be looking at all of his runners over the weekend. 3-year-old gets weight and has already course and distance winning form, which makes him dangerous. He was outclassed in the Abernant, as you said there, Ben. I think you mentioned that on return, although dropping back to 5 could suit better now for Beckford's Folly, and there's a big price at around 14s, as you said there, Ben. And Chagrin as well, ended last season with a win and shouldn't be underestimated, but this stronger field, it's a stronger field than he's been facing. He has the pace for the job, though others have slightly stronger group credentials, I think, and he's available at around 12-1, Chagrin. And of course, he knows what he's doing with sprinters, doesn't he, Clive Cox? So definitely worth a look, a double check on Chagrin and Beckford's Folly. They'll be each way for me. And if you're looking for the shorter ones, possibly Asphora and Frosted Dawn there in the Palace House. Moving on to the big one, the 335, Ben, 2,000 guineas, Group 1 over a mile. And Ben, what is going to win the first classic of the season?
2,000 guineas, first classic of the season, as you say. I have a handful of race trends to help build a shortlist for this. The last 12 winners all passed the following: rated 109 or higher, won one of their last 2 starts, ran over 7 furlongs or a mile last time out, and started at an SP of less than 6-1. And had a 67% or higher win-in-place career strike rate. I'm only looking at UK and Irish runs for those trends. This year, the trends leave a shortlist of just 2: Bow Echo and Distant Storm. The Secret Adversary, he only just misses those trends, so worth keeping him on the radar. And King's Trail meets Charlie Appleby last time out winner angle I have plugged in, so I'm going to add him to the shortlist as well. Bow Echo comes here unbeaten in 3 starts, winning the Royal Lodge Stakes last September on his final start of the season. The only horse in the last 29 renewals to win both the Royal Lodge Stakes and the 2,000 guineas was Frankel. So not a standard route to be taken en route to future 2,000 guineas success, but at Bow Echo, he would be in good company should he join that very select group, and I get his chances. I get why he's near or vying for favouritism. A Distant Storm, one of 2 in the race for Charlie Appleby, and is the mount of William Buick. Appleby and Buick having won the Guineas the last 2 years. A Distant Storm won on his debut over 7 furlongs last July in a maiden on Newmarket July course, in a race that has been working out seriously strongly since. Of the 11 horses he beat that day, 10 of them have won at least once since, and the overall future form of that race reads 16 wins and 8 places from 39 subsequent starts. In fact, only the horse came last has failed to win a race, and he has placed second in his 1 start since. Distant Storm disappointed a little in the Acomb Stakes at York on his next start after that, but he bounced back from that with an eye-catching win in the Tattersalls Stakes on the Rolling Mile, and then a decent third in the Dewhurst Stakes on his final start, also on the Rolling Mile. So he's got plenty of experience of the track, and he does look a big player in this 2,000 guineas. Distant Storm. The Secret Adversary runs for Fuzzy Stack. He won the Group 3 Red Rock Stakes at Leopardstown last time out. Only 4 winners of that race came on to the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket on their next start. but 2 of them landed the Guineas. It refused to bend in 2003 and Poetic Flare in 2021. So it is a route that has produced a winner of this classic. He has raced over a mile previously, the Secret Adversary, when finishing staying on 5th in a Group 1 at Woodbine last September, and he does look like a mile will suit him. He's by St Mark's Basilica, and a number of his offspring have been winning over a mile or half a furlong longer or shorter than a mile, and he does look overpriced in this at around 20 to 1, 25 to 1, the Secret Adversary. And King's Trail was the other I stuck on the short list. He's 2 from 2 so far in his career, and he meets a Charlie Appleby last time out winner Newmarket angle that I have. That angle being Charlie Appleby, last time out winners, running at either of the Newmarket tracks on this run, same or up in trip, and with 1 to 5 previous career starts. Since 2020, Appleby horses that meet that angle return stats of 66 winners and 29 placed from 163 qualifiers, 40% win strike rate, 58% win and place strike rate, and over 75 points profit at King's Trail, meeting those stats here. Now, he holds an official rating of 101 coming into this race, which is a concern on the stats front. At the last 27 2000 Guineas, 130 horses have lined up off an official rating of lower than 108. None of them have won, and only 10 have placed. But to level that out a little bit, only 5 of the 130 started at a single figure SP. So the market does give King's Trail a better chance than the vast majority of those previous lower rated horses. I do think he needs plenty of consideration for this King's Trail. I can see him running a decent race. Of that 4 that I'll cover, Distant Storm would be the one that interests me the most. I think at 92, like decent price for Distant Storm. And I'd want to have the Secret Adversary on my side as well. I think he looks a fair bit overpriced at 20 to 1 and bigger. So Distant Storm and the Secret Adversary for me in the 2000 Guineas. Tony, what you got for the 2000 Guineas?
Yeah, I had a bit of a look at this last night, Ben, and the Secret Adversary, as you say, it's absolutely massive price that for. I had a look at the blood, the blood side and the sires and what have you. And it's, I think St Mark's Basilica and Too Soon to Panic, who's by Glen Eagles. I think this is the cleanest Guineas pedigree for me. St Mark's Basilica brings right classic mix, juvenile class, dual speed, French 2000 Guineas. The mile form and the ability to stretch to 1 mile 2 furlongs. Glen Eagles, as the damn sire, reinforces 2000 Guineas angle as well, adding sharp mile class rather than slow stamina. And on pedigree alone, this looks a proper 7 furlong to a mile classic colt, really, with enough petrol to finish up the rolling mile. And I think, as you said, at 25 to 1, that's big price. That St Mark's Basilica already has first crop of Group 1 juvenile winners and evidence through Diamond Necklace, which strengthens the case that you can get precocious classic type as well. And myself and Sean Quinn had a good old chat about the bloodstock side of things and the sire side of things during the week, and St Mark's Basilica came up in that conversation as well. But it's certainly on my short list. I'm with you with Bo Echo and Distant Storm as well. I'm not meaning to follow you all day here, Ben, but certainly with you on those 2. Bo Echo unbeaten, and already, of course, in distance winner, which is a major asset in this race, heads up the market for a good reason as well, and has the profile of a genuine top-notcher, Bo Echo. And Distant Storm, I've given this out on TalkSport overnight with Ben Fletcher. I've given Distant Storm out, another course winner with strong juvenile form. And the Buick booking catches the eye, of course. He looks like he's chosen this one over the other one in the lineup. He's the class to be involved. He must prove he's trained on, of course, that old saying, I hate that, enough to beat some less exposed rivals. You'll notice, listeners, that none of us have mentioned the favourite. None of us has mentioned the favourite, which I did have a look up again on the bloodstock side of things for Gestad, and again, he's Star Spangled Banner out of a Exceeding Excel mare, and I just think Star Spangled Banner can get horses to stay. He can get horses to stay 7 furlongs to a mile, but with Exceeding Excel underneath, the balance tilts towards speed, doesn't it? And for the 2,000 guineas, I would worry about the final furlong up with the Rolly Mile for Gestad myself. I don't know what you think, Ben.
I don't really have an opinion on him, honestly.
Yeah.
He just
doesn't stand out, does he?
He wasn't appearing on anything that I was looking at.
Mm.
Obviously I know him. I know the horse, but when I was pulling it all together, he just wasn't flagging up anywhere.
No,
I mean,
same with me.
It's Aidan O'Brien,
Yeah.
He's kind of like Willie Mullins. Sometimes he does stuff that you think, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Stats don't matter to him. But it just wasn't flagging up with me, so I won't be playing him at all.
No.
Not even, it's not in my mind to play. Doesn't mean he won't win. Could easily win.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not for me.
No, not for me. That's good stuff. And just a reminder to our listeners that Aidan O'Brien is 1 from 16 at this meeting since 2021. It does really need bearing in mind that. But just get ready for Chester. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing PodBlast. Very best luck with your bets at Newmarket this weekend. And we'll see you all soon in the next episode of the Racing PodBlast. Now we're back into the flat season. Thanks very much, Ben.
Cheers, tonight.